Well, hi, everyone. I'm Emily Warder with the Granite School of Management. Joining me today, we have John Fosnot and Stephen Stepp. We're going to be talking with you about the Granite Online MBA. So our agenda for the day is we're going to keep it casual, right? Because we want you to have plenty of time to ask questions of us. So we're going to walk through your online MBA team. We're going to do a program overview, discuss the admissions criteria, and again, answer all your questions. So first, a little bit about Purdue. We have accolades across the university, but some that are really that we wanted to highlight today is that we're number 5 of most innovative institution, number 6 on the producer of Fortune 500 CEOs, and we are proud of our 575,000 alumni around the globe. So you'll have a very big network when you're here with us to connect with as you're in your program. So as I mentioned, we have an online MBA enrollment team. It's Stephen, Jennifer, Will, and Latina who are helping us on the front end, answering all your initial questions. And then John and Emily, myself, will be part of the interview and admissions committee for your application. So a few facts about the online MBA. It is a 48 credit hour program designed fully online, taught by the faculty at the Granite School of Management at the Purdue West Lafayette campus, who are experts in research and practice in their various fields. This program is designed for working professionals, as you'll see Kristen's comment, and that allows you to maintain your professional life as well as your personal life and adding in an academic component. The nice part about our degree is it is integrated into all of our Granite online programs and classes. So you'll be able to meet with people in our master's degrees of global supply chain management, business analytics, economics, and human resource management. The type of students that are interested in our program, I'm highlighting our spring 2021 profile. That was the intake that we just had that started in January. You'll see from their companies that they're representing, it is a wide reach of industry, and then the roles that they're serving within those organizations are as wide too, ranging from financial services to marketing, sales and sales management, research and development, so everything in between. We have a very nice mix of professional time, and then we have a great group of United States representation as well as students in Colombia and Mexico. As I mentioned, it is a 48 credit hour program comprised of what we call our Granite foundational courses, which start you off with our business analytics. It's the only textbook that our alum on the call, John Fosnot, still actively owns and references. And then we have what we call the Granite core, so you get that broad exposure to all the fun foundational areas within business. And then you have your elective choices where you can choose a specialization, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. As a reminder, if you have any questions, please use the question and answer features in Zoom so we can answer those as we're going through our talk today. Our program is structured in 8-week modules. Our classes are actually 7 weeks in length, and you can take 1 or 2 courses per module, depending on the pace that you want to go. John, do you want to talk about why we designed the program this way?
Sure. So with an online program, depending on how fast you want to move through the sequence of courses, it really could be anywhere from 2 to 4 years. And we really wanted to make sure that as working professionals with lives, with other things going on, you had some built-in breaks. So that's why we're embedding those off weeks in between each session. It's also allows us to put our courses in a very fixed pattern so that you know exactly when your finals will be for all of your courses. You'll know when your gaps will happen so you can schedule vacations, work trips, things like that, as well as just giving you a little bit more flexibility on what you can do in those off weeks. So from the programmatic point of view, that's also when we'll schedule some kind of extracurricular type things, campus visits, socials, things like that, that we want to make sure that there's some time there that we're not impeding with your route to graduation.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So you'll work with your academic advisor to find that pace that makes sense for you and maximize your tuition reimbursement dollars from your organization if you fall into that frame. Our calendar operates a straight through pattern. So we do not have what you would call the traditional spring break or summer break. Because our program is designed for working professionals, not having those stop and goes is really important. So as you'll see here, most of you are interested in our fall start, which classes begin on August 23rd. So that first module runs on October 17th, and then you'll see how your patterns develop through the rest of the calendar. So a sample plan of study, just to show you how we structure our curriculum, is that we start you off just with business analytics. As I mentioned, that is one of our foundational courses within the career school. And I'm showing you a plan of study from our spring intake because I wanted you to see how quickly it all comes together without thinking too far ahead about your future and your personal plan of study. So business analytics is the first class that everyone takes together. We want you just to take the one course so you have time to make connections with your teammates, find the appropriate rhythms for you to balance your work, personal, and academic life. And then in module 2, you'll see a combination of credit hours of 1, 2, and 3. Strategic Design Project is a 1-week, 1-credit course that allows you to just look at problems a little differently and find new ways to approach solving things. So we wanted to put that required elective in there right away. You'll see in the summer session of module 1, you can start to take electives. We really value that in our program. So if there's something that you need in a more of an immediate stance, maybe it's a spreadsheet modeling that will help you professionally right now. We don't feel like you need to delay in getting those elective choices as you're working your way through the program. So that's a really great way for you to start getting the information for the specialization area that you want to partake in. Our courses are structured in that a variety of instructional activities will help you meet your learning objectives. So not every course has the same activities built into them, but we have our faculty go through an instructional design process where they're creating these courses to really maximize those 7 weeks for your learning, but then also incorporating ways for you to apply what you're doing as well. So in this course, this is our business analytics course that I'm spotlighting. Dr. Alexander has readings and lectures, discussions, individual and group assignments, quizzes, and exams. So the live sessions were designed for you to do a deeper dive into the content area. Perhaps a guest speaker is joining you. So maybe there's an industry expert or alum coming back to share their experiences. But we also have how statistics works in other areas outside of your organization. So at one time, Dr. Alexander was showing us ways that professional sports use statistics to calculate all those great things. So it's really fun just to see how we put it in different avenues. And you're not only here to have a great education, but also to be part of that amazing alumni network. And so we want you to have those connections early on. As Adam mentioned, it's made a huge difference in the things that he's doing. So we have connect events that will put you in touch with alums and friends of the university right away. So you can start expanding your network, either in terms of maybe an immediate next step or a future next step. Coffee chats are with our student success team. And so they're just ways for you to get to know each other in more informal settings on specialized topics. So it could be on, why do I want this graduate certificate? Or how do I think about launching a business plan? So just really nice ways for you to have informal dialogue. We do have student fun groups. So there is a 40 and over MBA group that gets together occasionally and talks about things that are going on in their professional stage as well too. So really nice ways for you to develop those connections. And then cost is obviously an important factor. A majority of our students do receive some form of tuition assistance from their employer. So we're happy to work with you to establish that. Our billing for the program is based on the credit hour. So as you're working through the pace that makes the most sense for you, that is what you would work on with your funding. So that is just a very brief overview of our program. Stephen, I'm going to highlight a couple of the items on the admissions, and then I'll turn it over to you to talk a little bit about the requirements, okay?
Sounds good.
Great. So the process for admissions is you're going to work with our enrollment specialists, such as Stephen and our colleagues, Latina and Will, to walk through the application process. Make sure you have the right materials before you move forward to committee review. That may include an interview with the program manager. At committee review, it's a very holistic representation of all the materials you provide. And then all decisions are formally released by the graduate school. So your application is actually to the Graduate School of Purdue University, not directly to the Krannert School of Management. Sometimes we get questions about that, so I wanted to make sure that we address that. Stephen, can you walk through a little bit about the application materials that we require?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Emily. The application is online. You can find it on our website. There is a $60 application fee for domestic students and $75 application fee for international students, but we are currently waiving the application fee for domestic students, so there's no cost to just start the process. We will need your official transcripts, of course, from all prior higher education institutes. You'll need to submit your professional resume. You can upload that right to the application. We also require 2 letters of recommendation. We prefer they come from somebody who's had a managerial or supervisory relationship with you in the past, that can really speak towards your professional experience. Note how there are observations of how you are in a professional environment as well. And these letters have to come from your reference. So how that works is when you are filling the application out, you will enter the name and the email address of those individuals, and we will send them a template directly to their email to fill out and send back to us. Same thing with your transcripts. We need those transcripts to come from your university, or even if you're a Purdue University student, you need to contact the registrar's office and have them send it to the Krannert School of Management. There is 2 essays. There's a statement of purpose. It's 500 words max. There's also an essay on your team or cohort approach. And what that essay is, it's 600 words max. It's on your expectations in a team-based learning environment in which you go through a program or a major team component. It's really your opportunity to share your strengths in working in teams and referencing past experiences of those team and group assignments that you've had, or professional work environment that you've worked in teams as well. And then finally, there is a GMAT requirement, but we are waiving it currently for the fall 2021 semester, which I know most of you are looking into. If you're looking past that, there is a waiver that is signed automatically once you upload your resume and transcripts, as long as you meet the 3.0 GPA and above requirement and at least 3+ years of professional experience. But the combination of those, we will waive the GMAT score as well. Is there anything I'm missing, Emily?
No, that was perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So we talked about the holistic review earlier, and Stephen, when we help our applicants understand what that means, is we want to look at your application totality. So the documents that you provided that Stephen just mentioned, your employment experience, any history, growth within your roles, in those employer recommendations. We really value all of those components. And so any helpful hints that you want to share about how to convey anything in the experience or history section, Stephen?
I think the most important thing to do is to make sure that you are being thorough with everything that you're submitting. And the resume needs to be a professional resume. That we expect one that you'd be applying to jobs for. And additionally, I'd recommend applying early. I mean, if it's a rolling admission process, the earlier we get your application, the earlier it's complete, the earlier we can award you a decision in our competitive application process.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. So as we were talking about applying early, what does that mean for us? So the application deadline for fall is actually July 30th, but we are accepting applications now. The nice thing is when our onboarding begins in June 15th, you have plenty of time to get acclimated to being a Boilermaker or a returning boiler, and get familiarized with the program. Our orientation begins August 14th with classes beginning on the 23rd. We do admissions 3 times a year. So we have January, May, and August. If August feels too early for you and you want to consider January, absolutely apply to that. We'll accept applications beginning in May for our spring term. So that's just a little bit about our program. If we have any more questions, please feel free to put them in the question and answer. We want to make sure that we're answering everything for you as we think about the Purdue MBA. John, is there anything else that maybe you did not cover in your earlier session that you would like to share now? Yep.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we talked about in the panel discussion was your opportunity to take different types of electives and specializations. I think that's actually one of the most exciting things that we have coming up currently. So we're currently just adding a new global supply chain management specialization within the MBA program. And we have quite a few new electives coming online as well in the next year. So we're looking at specifically tying some of these electives offerings less to the functional areas within management and more to industry and cross-functional type courses. For example, we're adding a course in public-private partnerships for coming up this fall that I think will be a really interesting combination course with our MBA program as well as our economics and public policy area. So there's some exciting courses coming up that are outside of what you would normally expect as like the core functional areas within the program. So I take a look at some of those. They'll be interesting.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And so as John mentioned, we have the specializations and I'm showing you how those outlines are here. These classes do have a little bit of flexibility. So I chose a sampling so you could see how they come together. The specializations will fit into your overall credit plan, so they do not extend your time in the MBA beyond those 48 credit hours. So you would work with your academic advisor to ensure that you're on that path to earn the specialization that makes the right sense for you as you're working on your overall degree completion plan for the MBA. Well, wonderful. Well, we are going to stay on for a little while longer while people think of questions for us. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have new insights into the Krannert School of Management's online MBA, and we look forward to taking any questions. A question we received in the chat is, are you allowed to accept transfer credits? And we do not accept transfer credits. If you've previously earned MBA coursework or graduate business coursework that you would like to have counted towards this degree, that is not one that we have.
So
go ahead.
I can answer it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Is the school's decision to close down its full-time MBA going to affect the online degree in any way? No, it will not. So that was more of a strategic decision that the school is making to better prepare the school for the next 10 years. It's actually a pause, right? We're investigating how to reposition that degree currently. But the reason that decision was made when it was because we had already launched the online MBA. We have a very robust collection of hybrid and online MBA options available to our students, as well as some dual degrees and partner MBAs, which gives us the flexibility to do that without losing any of our core MBA functional specializations. So there won't really be any different courses or less courses because of that. It's kind of independent. The fact that we launched the online MBA was what allowed us to do that.
A question that we've received is, was our online MBA in response to the pandemic? And actually, no. John had worked on this 2 years in advance to seek approvals by the Board of Trustees and the Higher Education Commission of the state of Indiana. So this just happened to be the timing of it. So no, this degree is not to take the place of the full-time MBA. It's just to enhance the offerings while we're thinking about the overall portfolio of the school.
Yeah, planning and design for the online MBA program began in 2017. We spent probably 2 years doing curriculum mapping, building out all the courses needed, figuring out exactly what the best fit and the best setup for the students would be. And we launched in January of 2020. So the timing of the pandemic was interesting for us, but we had already fully launched the program before it happened. So we really didn't have to do a whole lot to adjust for it in the online space, because the way we had already designed the program, it worked. And we were, our residential instructors were quite happy to come lean on us when they suddenly had to adjust their courses.
Mm-hmm. So that goes to the question that we received was our online MBA ranked this year? And because we were in year one, we did not elect to go into the rankings. Go ahead.
You have to have so many cohort starts before you can even apply to be ranked. So it'll be at least another year before we'll be able to apply for ranking.
Yes, thank you, John. Another question is, do you need the official transcript at the time of application, or will an unofficial transcript work granted with the official on its way? As long as, and Stephen, jump in here, but as long as the copy that is uploaded to your application states official on it, that works. So you cannot log into your undergraduate institution and have the copy say unofficial on it. As long as it's an official copy, yes, we can consider you for admission pending the arrival of your official documentations to the graduate school. And Stephen and Will and Latina will walk you through that entire process about the best way for you to send your transcripts. We do understand that international transcripts might be hard to come by right now. So there are some other ways that we can help you with that. For example, it is best if your organization uses an electronic service. That's the best way for the tracking of the transcript to get from your undergraduate institution to Purdue Graduate School. But if not, then there's the proper mailing address. Wonderful. Any additional questions that we can answer for you about either the specializations, the methodology to our online MBA, a little bit more about the students or the experience? Well, thank you so much for joining us, Stephen. Thank you so much for walking through the application process. John, for chiming in on all of the things about the design and the fit into the Krannert School. Thank you for being here. If you have any additional questions, our email address is on the screen for you. And just as a reminder, the deadlines for fall consideration is July 30th, but especially if you're worried about transcripts, the earlier you apply, the better, so we can make sure we have plenty of time for accurate review. Great. Thank you so much.